All right, so here we are putting the kit in. Because of it being a really old frame, there's always some tweaking and things that need to be done. Thanks to my buddy, Mr. Patterson. He came over to help me. He's our fabrication teacher at the high school for a long time, and now he's here at our community college teaching there. And so he's gone through and helped me get all the measurements, and we've had to use a lot of straps and willpower and ingenuity, but getting it all dialed in. So now we're putting in the tacks on all the corners, and we've got the back section set up right now. So just wanted to show you guys kind of how this is coming together, and I'll go through a walkthrough once we get everything done and before I put the final welds, so you guys kind of everything that he taught me and we got it figured out. Hey guys, so here's an update on installing the frame bracing kit. Huge thanks to my friend Ryan for coming over and helping out. I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. His precision and years of experience teaching fabrication and welding and putting together trailer after trailer after trailer for, gosh, he was at our high school for 15 years with me, and actually 16 years, and then now he's teaching at the JC. So I really appreciate him coming over and helping out with this. So let me show you guys what it looks like right now. Okay, so the frame bracing kit is in. Everything's tacked in. I'll go in and weld the rest of it. I want to show you the difference between Ryan's welds and my welds. So this is my weld. You can see where I slowed down, went faster. If you guys can see that when we get up close here. This is Ryan's welding. Perfect. Perfect. So yeah, that's how it looks. So I asked him to do one line so at least I could see what really good welding looks like on it. So anyway, but we got it all tacked in. We did have to use ratchet straps to pull it in. The braces themselves are bowed a little bit, and I think it has to do with when they're welding. That being said, and we did have to do a little fabrication ourselves. Long story short, I still think it's a really good product. I think that I think it's quality. I think that they do the best that a good job. You're also, this is what, a 67-year-old chassis that's been through the road, and it's two pieces welded together in a bunch of other places with a stick welder, and so it's not going to be, you can't get precision on everything. You're going to have to do a little bit of movement on it. So let me talk about some of the things we had to do to get this to work. You can see we did have to clamp some areas down. When we got it, when you get it originally, the braces right here, okay, the backing right here, they do bow a little bit because you've got this heat coming through on this weld, so it's going to pull it, shrink it back a little bit when it cools. And then, so there's that. So you do have to get in and, you're going to have to use a lot of C-clamps. Good C-clamps. And we had real strong industrial ones that Ryan had from projects he had completed before and he had gotten. And also, you're going to have to use, I would say ratchet straps worked really well for us in pulling everything into alignment. We did, when we lined up one of the alignment pins on one side, the other side, when we lined that one up, when we lined the driver's side as opposed to the passenger side, the whole bracing was off. This side was too far backwards, the driver's side was too far backwards, the passenger side was too far forward. The transmission, alignment of the transmission cross member here, one was all the way up to the top of the frame on this side. This side was way below, and it took some finagling. What we ended up having to do was cut this brace off. I would have cut it straight across, and that's what I was going to do. But Ryan showed me you just go right in where the weld meets, and if you can just go right into that seam, he cut it perfectly on both sides. So welding it back in for me will be nice and easy. Just go along the sides and weld it back in. So that's pretty cool. That was only change. I think I probably would have cut both sides off, to be honest, and doing it on my frame. That's not to say that everybody's frame is going to need that. Hey, Licorice, there's Licorice. He's coming in to say hi. Hey, look-a-doo. Come on, look. There he goes. So everybody's a little different. Yeah, like I said, the frames are a little off. But so the rigidity for this cross member, I know when I originally looked at it, I went, wow, how's that little piece of steel going to hold those two really structured pieces on the side? Well, the structure comes in these gussets that they put in here. So you see this gusseting that comes along that bottom. That's going to take a lot of the sway. It's going to take all of the flex that you're going to have out of it with the way that has been designed. And you'll notice the same thing with the transmission cross member. Once that's bolted in and everything's down, it's going to take a lot. So you have 2 points of rigidity here. And I think a lot of people just kind of look at it and go, oh, well, it's just a piece of metal in between the two, and it's really not going to do anything. It will. Once you weld those in, you weld this across the top, down the sides, it's going to give you a lot. And if you wanted to, I'd even, on a previous video, talked about even welding. If I wanted to get even more, like the Art Morrison frame bracing kit I have for Rusty, I could put in a piece of tubing, one other piece that's stretched underneath here, and it would be super stout. Super stout. So, yeah, so that's kind of what happened. We used the ratchet straps, pulled it in. We had to get everything level. This guy wasn't even close until we really ratcheted in this beam that comes across here. Once we got the front figured out and we had it tacked in, this one here we had to tack on the top to give it a little bit of sway. We let the ratchet straps go. It came up a little bit. This one went down. The reason we did that, here, I'll show you, is so that it's level. And you'll notice that's 5, which is tolerable. There you go. This one's 0.35, which works. So we're good to go. Side to side. Okay, so it's fine. And then with the transmission mount on, we're good. So that's what we had to get first. We had to line this up and make sure it was up far enough that the body mounts were going to line up as well. So after we took this guy off, this brace off, then we were able to maneuver it and line this hole up. Once we got this hole lined up, we were able to get this side lightly tacked in, and then we went back over to the other side and made sure that we also had to make sure that we had the same clearance along the top to set up level. So used a combination square up at the top, Ryan did, to make sure that the gap here was the same as the gap on the passenger sides. So we got the passenger side all dialed in, and then the driver's side. I do think if we would have cut this brace off as well, that we would have got, and then moved it, we would have gotten everything lined up a little bit better. But given the time, his time, which I was grateful that he came over and helped, we got everything set up. Everything's dialed in. You'll notice that the transmission brace is right in between. Here we go. Lined up perfectly in between, and perfectly in between here. Oh, something that was really crazy. I didn't realize how much these frames flex. This transmission brace would not go in. It was off a little bit. And I said, wait, hold on just a minute. Set it up, set one side in, push down, and literally the frame moved out. And that gave us the clearance that we were having in between right here. The frame itself flexed, came out, and then we fit the transmission brace in. And it's exactly 25 inches from the transmission mount to this back of, I guess it's not the transmission mount, the back stabilization or drive shaft comes over the top of it, whatever. So yeah, everything's lined up. I'm going to go in now and I'll burn up. I'll show you guys what it looks like once I get all the finished welds in, my welds in. But that's what we look like. That's kind of my take on it. I do think it's a quality kit. I do think that in this case, we're dealing with a 67-year-old chassis. There's going to be some tweaking. There's going to be some things that you need to do. But for the money and what you have, I think it's worth it. I think it's going to do a really good job, especially since they've engineered it so that you can put a 4L80E, or 4L60E, or, a modern transmission, fit it under without having to modify the transmission tunnel on the vehicle. And I think it's going to give you a lot of rigidity. I think it's going to work out really, really well. I'm excited to get this ready for my dad's. The bottom parts, these ears down here, we got them up as tight as we could, but once we got everything set up, there's a couple of them that aren't up as tight as we would like them, so I'm going to flip the frame over and slam down on those with ball peen hammer or sledgehammer to make sure that everything is tight. You got to make sure that everything is tight before I weld it. And then this will be good to go. I'll flip the frame over and start working on the CPP pocket kit. So that's the next thing. I'll be cutting these guys off, taking the rivets off of these guys, getting it ready. And all of the powder coating that I took off, I'll be using the chassis saver on that, so it'll look like it's powder coated again when I'm finished up. Obviously take the ratchet straps off. I just left those ratchet straps on so you guys could see what it looks like to have, what we had to do, the process we had to do. But you'll notice right here, we are lined up perfectly. Lined up perfectly on the passenger side as well for the body mount. Everything is dialed in, good to go. Took a morning. Well, it took almost the whole day, but with some help and ingenuity. And once again, thanks to Ryan for coming over and helping me out. Oh, if you haven't, check him out on Instagram, AgFabTeacher. I'll put the link down below. Check his Instagram out. He's got a really cool, I want to say it's a 67 C10 step side little truck. Super cool, super cool. We've been working on, he's got a, turn this around here. He's got the QA1 coilover shock system that he's putting into his C10, so pretty neat. Thanks, guys, for checking it out. I guess the next little clip you'll see will be the finished welding. All right, so here we go. It is all burned in. Thanks so much to Mr. Patterson, Ryan coming over and helping me. So yeah, my welds don't look nearly as beautiful as his. Yeah, sorry guys. Once again, there's Mr. Patterson's beautiful welds right there. Okay, my welds, not as nice, but I got the penetration I needed. Yeah, look kind of gloopy. I'm getting it figured out. What else? Got everything done over here. Yeah, my welds, I'm getting it figured out. It just takes a while. I'm trying to get, Ryan showed me how to get back and get the welder positioned. And then that one came out pretty nice right there. So that I don't change the level when I'm welding of the MIG wire. And my big thing is putting my face in a position that I can see where I'm going and then stabilizing. I had to double up on that one a little bit, make sure I get everything. That one, oh, there's one right there. That's not good. I might go back and fix that. But the top turned out pretty good there. Down the side here, up over here. Like that one to lay down a little bit more, a little better penetration, but I think it got in. This back mount, or I don't know, cross member or whatever, I put in deep tacks into this because once I get the engine transmission, I might want to move it, so I don't want to completely burn that one in yet. I did get this guy, got it all, oops, there we go. Got it welded in all the way around, so it's back in and welded on both sides. So, not super pretty, but they're there. Got weld up in there, all the way across. And then I think I even put some on the inside back in there. All right, so there we go. Body mounts look good. Everything looks like it's in position. Transmission mount slides up and back. Everything's still nice and level. Looks good. It's in the right places. Not a bad Saturday. Really appreciate my friends. Brian also came over and helped out. Yeah, so pretty happy with it. Now it's on to the CPP notch kit for the leaf springs and get those inside, and then I'm gonna do like half. That's the C notch. So I'm gonna do like half rod. Rob put on his. If you look at Half Rod's builds, he put a C notch in right there. I'm gonna try to plate bite as well. And yeah, so be taking those rivets out right there on each side for the hangers. And then I've got to do a little surgery right here, cut this guy back. Now that I have practice taking off the transmission horns, I think this is going to be a lot easier than before. And then get some friends to come over if they don't mind helping and get this thing flipped over and do some cutting. All right, guys. Well, thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for all my friends for helping out and getting this dialed in. Grateful, and we're moving forward. Thanks, guys. Have a great time. Talk to you soon.